Hello everyone, I hope you are all well. I want to share with you today a tip that I use to help me connect with spirits or spirit guides and even extraterrestrials. So I'm going to do a little mini series. There's going to be a series of short videos and in each of these videos, basically, I'll be sharing with you different ways that I use to connect with spirits, and I might give examples in each video of how how I realized this myself, and it's something I implement all the time now whenever I want to contact spirit. Now I just want to quickly mention as well, I don't do this professionally. I don't do readings, just in case any of you are wondering. I don't do any readings. This is kind of just like a side hobby, and I don't really do it, to be honest, that often. It's usually I might help a friend out if I can, or if I feel pulled towards a certain individual that's passed, or if I get a sense that they want to connect with me, then I will then use this technique to connect with them and get the message, whatever it is they want to share with me, or whatever it is they want me to get out into the world. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. I want to keep it short and sweet and simple, and I want to explain it in a way that you can understand without me rambling on too much, because I have a tendency to do that, and it annoys me, so I'm working on it. Hypnagogia is a big word, a big fancy word. I'm surprised I can even say it. So hypnagogia is basically, again, as I mentioned, a fancy word to describe how can I explain this? So when we just prior to sleep, when we're relaxed and our mind's calm, and you feel yourself slowly drifting deeper, don't you? And deeper and deeper and deeper. Just prior to actually falling asleep. We all feel that. And we also feel it as well when we're coming out of sleep. When we're slowly coming around, we're still, not asleep fully, but we're not awake neither. We're kind of in that in-between state, but we're conscious. So this is what hypnagogia is. It's referring to that, in-between phase, if you like. So not asleep, not awake. We're in the middle. So this is the key time or key point when we can access information or messages or insights or wisdom or answers to questions from, not just spirit, but from, let's say, if you want, from the universe, or if you're religious, God, no judgment here. We all have different beliefs. So I'm sure many of you have noticed this yourself, when you're just, nodding off, and, you're nice and relaxed, and your mind's calm and clear and empty, and all of a sudden you'll see these flashes of colours or faces or random objects, animals, humans. Sometimes we might see some menacing faces. So what's happening is we are picking up all the energies that are around us, that are always around us. That's both positive energies, negative energies, information, spirits, and sometimes lower astral energies and entities. It's all around us, and this is why it's important, why we have to protect our energies. But I'll do another video on that one time. And so yeah, we can see all sorts. So we just naturally see it, because when we're in that in-between state, we're more closer to the fourth dimension, and that's where a lot of these energies exist. And of course they exist in many dimensions, of course, but I mean, it's just the fourth is closest to us, so it's very easy for us to have access to whatever information is in there, in that plane, realm, if you like, dimension, and whatever is around us. So yeah, it can be very useful, especially if we have questions for our higher self, or if we want answers from the universe, or if we want to simply just connect with our spirit guides, So I discovered this. I say I discovered, I mean, I've always been aware that when I've been in that in-between state, that hypnagogia state, that I've always had flashes in my mind and colours and faces and things like that. You know, it's all I've ever known. So I never really questioned it. This is going way, way back. I never really questioned it. I just thought it was fascinating. And sometimes I just, you know, zoom in on these images, and sometimes you can see the mouths moving, sometimes you can hear voices and them speaking, and sometimes the voices are clear and sometimes they're not. I've always, you know, known that. I've always experienced that, sorry. So like I say, I never really questioned it. But what made me realise that it was something more was, you know, I would set intentions before bed, and I'd be like, you know, I don't know, I've got a question for the universe, let's just say, you know, something that was bothering me, and then, you know, I'll just go to bed and get ready to just fall asleep, as you do, and all of, you know, my mind's clear, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, boom, an image, or I'll hear a voice, or I'll see in my mind's eye, you know, the answer to the question, and I'll be like, whoa, hey, wow, that was weird, that was crazy. So yeah, and also I did this technique. Well, I wanted to connect with Harry Styles because it was too early. I mean, it's everyone's different, but, you know, personally, I felt like it was too early to connect with Liam Payne's. Not that I wanted to. That's the funny thing. I felt like my energy was being pulled towards Liam's energy, like I was projected there, and for days and days and days that energy got stronger, and I couldn't sleep. I think within 3 days I got like 6 hours sleep. I looked awful, guys. I looked an absolute mess. And if you're a sensitive, an empath, you know, a light worker, you know, just a sensitive, you know, we naturally go where, you know, the energy pulls us. And I was very confused. I was very consumed by his energy, and but even still, I was like, you know, I didn't click on that it was his energy really doing that to me. But anyway, and then I was thinking of Harry, and then one night I wanted to connect with Harry Styles' higher self to see if I could get some insight, some information about how Liam's death unfolded, because it just felt, I guess it was just all intuitive, like I felt like I needed to. I just went where the energies took me, basically. I'm very intuitive. I just go with the flow, and usually when this happens, it's usually for a good reason. Anyway, so my intentions were to connect with Harry, but I went to bed, and yeah, so again, I was in that hypnagogia state, and all of a sudden I was just in my mind's eye, I was seeing all these spirits, so like, you know, ancestral type spirits, just, you know, human looking spirits, even extraterrestrial type spirits, or energies, not spirits, sorry. And I also was seeing some menacing, scary looking faces, and I immediately intuitively knew, oh, okay, I'm blocked from connecting to Harry, because he is very spiritually protected from both his ancestors and his spirit guides, but he's also protected by dark entities because he is part of the Triangle Club, and obviously these entities did not want me to get in contact with Harry. Harry Styles is a starseed, so is Liam Payne. And but if you want to, you know, hear of that story about Liam Payne and you know, get my understanding and perspective on the way he went and why he went, then check out the video. It's the one bit before this, and it's titled I Saw Liam Payne. So yeah, go and check that out, guys, if you want. So so I couldn't connect with Harry, so that's fine. I was very respectful, and I pulled back my energy, and then I went to sleep. And then all of a sudden, you know, like I say, I was sat next to Liam. But anyway, yeah, if you want to listen to that video then, or watch that video again, it's the one below. So yeah, so, you know, this hypnagogia is a perfect way to try and connect with other spirits. Sometimes, you know, because obviously everyone has free will and many people are very spiritually protected, so we can't always get access to people's information, and then we have to obviously be respectful of that. Otherwise there will be repercussions, which you'll find out. I never have, because I would just pull back, and, you know, I've just completely respected no matter what or who was protecting these individuals. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but just quickly, yeah, I don't do this professionally. I don't do it as a job. Maybe it might be something that I'll consider in the future, doing actual readings, but my confidence is not, it's not right up there yet, and it's not really my sole mission here. It's kind of something I do on the side to help myself, and occasionally I might help a friend if they want me to try and connect with someone, so living or past, because, you know, we can use this Hypnagogia state to, you know, not only connect with deceased loved ones, and as I mentioned, we can use it to connect to our higher self, we can use it to connect with extraterrestrials, and just to connect with the universe, to get, you know, answers to questions and things like that, or messages. So yeah, it's a really good technique. So the best thing to do before doing this is, you know, getting yourself relaxed. You know, you don't always have to, but sometimes meditation helps to clear your mind, and then get yourself ready for bed. Lie down and just set your intentions. Also set your intentions, you know, make sure you protect your energy. So, you know, for instance, myself, I'll be like, you know, I'll give my intentions, and then I will say, I only allow positive energies, entities, spirits and beings to connect with me, and just make it very clear that you don't want any lower vibrational negative energies, entities, spirits and beings, unless of course you want to, you know, each to their own. So yeah, so get yourself ready, treat yourself as if you're about to just fall asleep, get yourself in that in-between state. So again, you're not asleep, but you're not awake, you're in that Hypnagogia state, the in-between world, as I like to call it. And just pay attention. What would you see in your third eye? Don't rule out anything, you know, just observe, you know, what colors do you see? What images do you see? Sometimes we can get sensations and smells. Sometimes we can hear voices. All these are, you know, clues to answers that we are seeking. And what I do when I'm happy with what I'm seeing or feeling and sensing is I will quickly wake myself up just before actually drifting off to sleep, and I'll jot down with my pen on a notepad, and I'll write everything down, you know, colors, images. I'll write down if I heard anything, you know, sensations, feelings, senses, smells. You know, we were able to really, you know, recognize all of this when we're in that state. Sometimes some people only get images, sometimes people only hear voices, you know, sometimes you can get the whole package. You know, you can play around with it and just, you know, practice and practice until, you know, it gets stronger and stronger. So yeah, and then just go back into that state as many times as you want until you're happy with, you know, the information that you get. And then, you know, you can sit with that information on paper, and you can you know, you can kind of connect the dots, and sometimes it's blatantly obvious what the messages are and the answers are, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a bit like, you know, like a puzzle, you know, you got to kind of put the puzzles together and be like, oh, okay. And, you know, use your discernment, listen to your higher self, listen to your intuition. What is it telling you? What is it trying to show you? And sometimes if you're lucky, you know, you'll get, when you're in that state, you'll just get your higher self or your spirit guide literally talking to you very loud. And then you just, you know, again, quickly get up and write it down. So, you know, it's been different for me every time. Sometimes I get a strong connection, sometimes not so much. And sometimes I get imagery, sometimes I get sensations, feelings, sometimes I get actual, you know, words and voices. So yeah, it's just different. It's just something you know, you got to play around with. And I actually used this technique to find a missing person. Now, I won't give the name of the group that I was part of, because I don't want to be accused of promoting it, because I'm not allowed to promote it apparently unless I'm part of this group. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, but I did use this technique to help find a missing person. Unfortunately, they were deceased, but I still was able to connect with them, and I got so much information. And then when I gave this information to the woman who runs the group, she passed it on to someone, and this information resonated. And then this woman, who is now a friend, connected with me, and she was just blown away. So yeah, we can use this, you know, nothing's off limits. We can use this technique, this tool. I say technique or tool, I guess it's a technique really, isn't it? But I wouldn't even say it's a technique, is it? You know, it's just something that happens naturally to us. It's just I'm helping you to recognize when we are in that hypnagogia, you know, to help you recognize actually what's going on in that in-between state, or in-between worlds, as I like to call it. Because a lot of the time, you know, we're in that state just prior to sleep or just prior to waking up, and we rule it out, we rule it off, or rule it out, whatever that saying is, and we just think, oh, it's just our imagination, it's just, you know, it's nothing, when really it isn't. We are all, and we're all energy antennas, we all are antennas, and we pick up energies, entities, spirits and beings and energies, both positive and negative, high vibrational, low vibrational, you know, all the time, all around us. It's just in the day when we're, you know, working and stressing and, you know, just living lives and stuff. It's very hard. It's very easy, to miss these signs. And the spirits are trying to, you know, contact us all the time, especially our higher selves, to give us messages. And so it's hardly surprising that when we are, you know, just prior to sleep or prior to waking up, it's hardly surprising really that we, you know, we get these messages. But again, a lot of us rule it out. So yeah, it's a real thing. So if you go to bed tonight and you start all of a sudden having imagery or senses and faces, just know that that is because you have spirits or energies trying to connect with you. So, and again, just play with it. Sometimes I'll get in this state and I'll get messages, and then depending on how tired I am, sometimes it's too late, I've fallen asleep, and then I wake up and then I vaguely remember some information I got, and then I'm like, oh damn it, I should have woken up and, you know, wrote it all down on a notepad. You know, sometimes, you know, we do actually fall asleep and we don't really want to, even though you can still get all those things I mentioned, messages, signs, you know, spirit contact, you know, you can get that, of course, when you are asleep, because you're not bound to your body, you're not bound to this dimension. You know, when you're asleep, we leave our body, we go into higher realms, higher dimensions, where a lot of spirits dwell and, you know, live and or hang out, whatever you want to call it. And so we do get messages that way as well, but, you know, a lot of us struggle too. And so a lot of people use different ways of getting answers and different ways to connect with spirits. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very short, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up, because it lets me know that you like this kind of content, and then it just encourages me then to share some other tips and tricks and different ways to connect with spirits and, you know, get answers and things like that. But anyway, look after yourself, guys, and I will speak to you in the future.